Every single week, I put my freaking heart and soul into this. I study my ass off. I don't go out there and laugh. It's not funny.
When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Welcome, everybody, to the number one source of everything football, pro football it is, right here on the Turnbuckle Tavern. I'm one of your hosts, one of the four horsemen of professional football, the one and the only Heartbreak Kid, JBONE. And with me, all right over here, got the Hockster. What's up, Hockster?
I'd like to be known as the perfection of process.
Okay, Kurt Henning,
no?
whatever you say, Kurt Henning.
It's great. Living the high life in Memphis, bro, just like every time.
There you go. Well, let's go to your other Tennessee brother in there. Seth, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? I just popped the top on this graveyard shift, double dry hopped India Pale Ale, and I'm just jolted awake, so I'm ready to go for some marathon football talk now.
He's already wasted.
Oh, man. Oh, brother. Then we got, of course, over there, Husky Corn. What's up, Jordan?
Man, just we're out of harvest season, and now we prepare for the winter.
Thank God. Was it a brutal season there for you?
Man, harvest. I mean, okay, but seriously, it hasn't rained here in forever, so everything's dry and everything's on fire right now. It's pretty bad.
All right. Well,
it is really bad.
It kind of sounds like Hawk's fantasy team, but anyway.
Yeah, I can't dispute that. Jesus.
Anyways, we're here to talk. We got another fabulous week. We're going to preview week 8, but we got some banger topics to talk about. We kind of got a little bit into it in the group discussion group thread, and so we're going to say, hey, hold on, time out. Let's save it for the show. We got some good stuff we're going to talk about. What's going to happen with the Jets? Should TUA start? Christian McCaffrey? But the first thing we got to start with is some Home Rant.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America.
We couldn't complete a pass.
We give games away.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
We give them away.
We got to totally kick the second half. We couldn't make a first down or performance.
All right, so I don't have a clock, but I've got an clock down here, so I'll just yell out when it's time. We're gonna go a minute or 2 minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute.
All right.
Jordan, let's go to you first here. All right. Go ahead, start. Oops.
So I went to the Falcons game in Cincinnati this weekend, and first of all, Cincinnati's a complete shithole. So let's start there. Stadium. Dude, I don't know. That stadium needs some massive upgrades. I don't know. But as far as on the field, again, right back to it again. Why is Marcus Mariota still starting for the Falcons? They trust him zero to throw the ball. They did one play-action play because the Bengals were sneaking their safeties down in the box and hit it for a 75-yard pass. Didn't do it again. This team is just a train wreck, man. They run the ball really well, I'll give them that. But once they get down, they're screwed. This team has to be ahead to have any chance with Marcus Mariota. People were just basically chanting for Desmond Ridder to get in, and fortunately, no dice. So, yeah,
who's people,
happy.
man? Is that just? I'm picturing just you in the stands by yourself, going like Ridder.
There was like 1,000 Falcons fans there.
But he's from Cincy. It was probably
from
Bengals
Cincy,
fans chanting it. Honestly,
Bengals fans wanted to see him play, so
I can see that.
Yeah. And look,
funny Seth.
Honestly, like
stupid fuck.
Honestly, the absence of Calvin Ridley too doesn't really help. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what that team would be like with Calvin Ridley, should I say? But you're not out of it in the NFC South, pal.
No.
He's got mental problems, J-Bone. It's okay to not be okay in the NFL, just so you know.
I thought you meant me, and I was going to say, yeah, and?
Ridley got over the mental problems. Now it's just the gambling.
Oh, okay. Sweet. He's moved on then.
Yeah,
he's getting better.
He's not allowed to play because he gambled on a couple games.
I stand firm that you should be able to gamble on games you are not participating in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. But anyways, I'm going to go next here. The New Orleans Saints fucking suck.
He's right.
Putting it lightly.
A lot of it's injury related, but I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. That's so easy. Coaching sucks. This Allen, I'll give him 2 seasons and he's out. To be honest with you, the quarterback play was just horrific. Man, I wish I had some 90s Saints quarterbacks. That's how bad it was. Like, give me Danny Warfel in there.
Billy Joe Hobert.
Billy Joe Hobert. We love some Billy Joes. But, yeah, I mean, we just suck. But amazingly, because the NFC South still sucks ass, kind of still in it. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Everybody's still in it, man. Literally.
Yeah, it's wild.
And I'm not even saying just like statistically. Right. I'm saying like, man, if any team, even if you think they suck, if they put together a 2-game win streak, they could go from like last place to the number 4 seed in the conference.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But the Saints are going through now what the Colts have went through for the last 4 or 5 years, where your money at quarterback, and then you don't have that money quarterback. And I just think about all the teams throughout my football fandom of all these teams that were always a quarterback away that never found it. Like, just the Dolphins had a few seasons where like, oh, they're going to be good this year, and then their quarterback sucked. And that's just the way it is for the Colts now.
And the Saints. And, I have another issue too real quick. I know I'm going on my minute, but Saints fans this year, they're horrible because they're like, oh, man, we suck. Oh, woe is me. Like, where were you back in the 90s? Like, that's right. You were putting bags on your head. Okay. Get out of here with that.
But in their defense, I had met a couple Saints fans before the season, and they were 0 for 2 for me already. So I had met 2 Saints fans before this season, and I was already unimpressed. So, like, you're like Saints fans this season. It's like, no, pretty much always.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's hear your wonderful take, Mr. Wizard.
All right. Well, another game and another scoreless first half. I think that's 3 scoreless first halves for the Colts this season. I don't know if we scored in the first quarter all season. Maybe a field goal. I can't remember. And we're terrible. Frank Reich sucks. His play calling is atrocious. Jonathan Taylor runs 10 times. And we're not talking about a game that was ever out of hand. The Titans only put up 19 total points. Our defense was playing money. Their only touchdown was a pick 6 from Matt Ryan. So there was no reason to go away from your game plan. And Matt Ryan, I mean, he's benched now forever, I think, and we're going to talk about that. So he's never going to suit up for the Colts again, which I get. Frank Reich's it's a hard decision. Personally, I get it. From a football standpoint, it's the easiest decision you could make as a coach. Like, you're terrible, Matt Ryan. All our receivers are, I don't say all of them, but Pittman and Pierce are both great 50-50 ball receivers. Pretty much every time Matt Ryan throws up a 50-50 ball to one of those 2 guys, they come down with it. But they won't call plays for it. They won't call plays, hey, just throw the 50-50 ball. And that's why we're 3-3-1. We've played like the worst team in the league, but like I was saying, we're still like a 2-game win streak, and we're like the 3rd seed in the AFC. So that's the one saving grace about being, if you're going to be shitty early in the year or even be shitty all year, this is the year to do it, because a lot of mediocre teams are going to make the playoffs.
Your time, you're lucky I was being generous. I could have cut you off a long time ago, but
fuck.
Fuck.
I could go on. The whole show could be me just ranting.
Well, we know that's your dream show. Let's call it the Colt Show. Good Lord. All right. Well, I guess we could get into it. As you alluded to it, Matt Ryan benched, and we're going to kind of talk. We're gonna talk the legacy of Matt Ryan. So where do we want to start?
Let's start with the Lifetime's Falcons fans. I would say throw it to one of them just so we can hear their take on knowing that Matt Ryan's probably played his last NFL game as a starter. If it may be injury, he's not going to get signed in the offseason to be a starter. He's not going to start for the Colts again this year unless it's an injury. So I think it's almost a safe assumption to say that we've seen Matt Ryan's career in its entirety now. So what do you think?
I could see him coming back this year if Frank Reich gets fired, man. To me, the way I interpreted that benching, I feel like that's Frank Reich grasping at straws. He knows he's on the hot seat.
No, that's
this
Irsay.
is like his last card to play.
No, yeah,
Irsay.
It's all about his contract. It's contract.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've watched 2 entire Colts games this season. Actually, 3. I watched both games against the Titans, and then I watched the game against the Jags back here on the back porch. Obviously, a lot of room for improvement. Physically, his decline has been a lot rapid than I think anybody anticipated. But between the game plan and the O-line, I don't know how much chance he's had to succeed this year, really. And I've seen a few drop touchdown passes from Colts receivers, specifically that game against the Texans. Colts should have won that one easily if he would have. He had 2 really bad drop touchdown passes that game. But historically, man, we got into a little bit on the group chat where, JBONE somehow comes in with the take that Matt Ryan's overrated. I don't think that's the case. As somebody who watched the Falcons for years, I can tell you, if anything, this guy's underrated. Now, the Falcons, they have made an art out of blowing big leads in embarrassing fashion. But if you go back, you could rarely pin any of those on Matt Ryan. And typically, they wouldn't have been up in the first place if it wasn't for him. I'll leave a little bit of meat on the bone for Jordan, whatever he's got to say on this. But I got the stats to back this up, man. If we really want to go at Matt Ryan's historical legacy, but I think he's an easy Hall of Famer and one of the best to ever do it.
A first ballot Hall of Famer, you think? Is he
I don't know,
shoe-in?
The offensive numbers have gotten so inflated over the last 10 or 15 years, and he is missing the Super Bowl. Right or wrong, that's kind of like something you got to have as a quarterback. We unfairly, I think, judge quarterbacks on wins and losses. Like, we give them too much credit for the wins, and we give them too much blame for the losses. But I think before it's all said and done, I think he's going to get that that gold jacket from Canton.
All right,
Jordan.
I want to talk a little bit about this season. Frank Reich went into this season knowing he had an older quarterback that cannot run. So what would you do if you know that? Let's see. Drop him back 60 fucking times a game and let him get hit when you have one of the top running backs in the league. What a fucking idiot. First of all, we're going to start there. This dude's getting hit at a fucking record amount of pace through 7 games, and we're trying to blame this on Matt Ryan. Like, dude, like Hawk said, Jonathan Taylor touched the ball 10 fucking times. Like, what are we doing? I know he caught 7 short passes, but dude, that dude should be getting the ball fed to him 25 to 35 times a game. Like, what are you saving him for? Like, I want to put him on ice for the end of the year? Like, I know he was hurt, but dude, you have to use what you're good at. And what the Colts were good at last year was running the football. And it just seems like they've gotten away from it. Like, did they think they were getting 2016 Matt Ryan or something?
Well, and we stayed ahead of the chains for the most part against Tennessee. That we'd run it with Taylor on the first down and you get like 2 or 3, which isn't great, but you're staying ahead of the chains. But what happened is Matt Ryan had a good game the week before, so Frank Reich thinks he's a genius now. And he's like, let's do this again. Let's have Matt Ryan throw 40 times again. And obviously it's setting him up for success, but I can go if you've summed up your Matt Ryan.
Oh, that's not.
I got
more to go. Continue. Okay.
Because JBONE said, like, straight out, this dude is overrated and not a bust. He used the word bust.
I did. Hold on. Before you said that, I did correct myself though, and I said, okay, no, not bust. That's a little too harsh.
Okay.
Continue.
So JBONE said the only reason he's been as good as he has because he had exceptional weapons. So he had Julio, Roddy White, and Tony Gonzalez in his career. Those guys.
Calvin Ridley.
For 2 years.
Still had him.
Out of the first 3 guys I mentioned, 27,000 of those yards are to those guys. So that leaves 32,000 yards to the rest of the team. In 2016, this dude was throwing the ball to Taylor Gabriel. Before that, Henry Douglas. Like, these are not household names, and these guys got paid because of Matt Ryan. Austin Hooper got a big contract because of Matt Ryan. Like, you think those guys made Matt Ryan? Like, dude, this is a stupid conversation. I get it. I get why you have hate towards him. It's the same reason I hate Breeze. I think he's a little turd. Like, it is what it is. I know why you hate Matt Ryan. I get it. But dude, the fact that you're saying this dude is a bust, I know you corrected yourself, but you still did say that.
Yeah,
and you said he was overrated.
What I meant? Okay, hold on.
He played for a franchise that never had back-to-back winning seasons before he got there. They had no back-to-back winning seasons. They won 5 straight, had 5 straight winning seasons. They went to the Super Bowl, and I don't care what anyone says, that was not Matt Ryan's fault. He had a perfect passer rating. Kyle Shanahan shit the bed and had no idea what he was doing. I still to this day have no idea how they lost that. And then he did it again with the 49ers. So pretty obvious the guy doesn't know what he's doing when they're ahead. Dan Quinn was a shit head coach. The Falcons rarely had a top 15 defense in Matt Ryan's entire career. I mean, I just don't get it. Matt Ryan is going in the Hall of Fame. Whether or not it's first ballot, we can argue that, but he's going to the Hall of Fame.
All right. So, let me get comfortable here.
JBONE stopped by the Goodwill on the way home.
Actually,
for this episode.
This is Chalkline, baby. You know, use code PF10.
Royal Rumble 97.
Use code PF10 to save 10% checkout. No,
his wife's dressing him.
Well, you know, somebody's got to do it. So let me correct on some things that I said in the chat. Yes, I did say a bust. What I was alluding to was this year him being a bust. Because I knew going into it, go back to the tapes. You can look at the tapes. I said it going to start the year. You're going to have a old Matt Ryan who good, yes, great, no, to be honest with you. That's just a simple fact. If you think about Matt Ryan's career, besides 2016, if you remove 2016 out of there, tell me just an unbelievable, memorable year.
2017.
I would say 2016 to 2018, he was the best quarterback in the league those 3 years, dude.
No,
go look at the stats.
Not.
He was slinging.
Absolutely not. You would have to put Aaron Rodgers above that.
Aaron Rodgers didn't even make the playoffs in 2017 and 2018. What are you talking about?
He was still outperforming him.
No, he wasn't. Go pull the numbers, bro. Aaron Rodgers in 2017 and 2018 was better than Matt Ryan. You're telling me that. Yeah, Matt Ryan wiped the floor with Aaron Rodgers 3 times during that time frame, man. 3 times. It wasn't close, man.
Anyways.
Matt Ryan had almost the exact same stats in 2018 that he had in 2016. Look it up.
It's a known fact throughout NFL fans that Matt Ryan is overrated. It's been said countless times.
By who?
He's
known. Did you guys catch that? It's no. He surveyed all NFL fans.
Look, I'll read you that text.
In the history of the NFL, listen, in the history of the NFL, we've been around 100 seasons, right? 100 seasons, we can all agree on that. That's how long the NFL has been around. There are exactly 3 quarterbacks, 3 in NFL history that have more fourth quarter comebacks than Matt Ryan. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger. Think about how many quarterbacks have played. There are 3 that have more fourth quarter comebacks than Matt Ryan. How do you hear something like that and say this guy is overrated? Fourth quarter comebacks, that means you're turning losses to wins. Yeah. He's done it 37 times. Guess who he's done it more than? He's done it more than Drew Brees. Drew Brees doesn't have that many fourth quarter comebacks.
So am I going to get a chance to speak?
No.
All right. So, so you have the scheme fits his play to a T. It absolutely fits his play. Let me read you a text, okay?
What scheme?
Let me read you a text.
What are you talking about?
The offensive scheme, the offensive play, the playbook.
So they should run a scheme that doesn't fit him. You know how dumb that sounds? What should they have ran? The Wildcat?
Plus, he's probably had like 15 offensive coordinators over his career or some bullshit. What are you talking about, scheme?
All right, so let me read you a text. If I could get a word in edgewise.
Oh, I didn't know you texted Matt Ryan.
No, I didn't text him.
Got him on the podcast.
I texted a buddy of mine who is a Raiders fan, lifelong Raiders fan. Okay?
Oh, okay. They know.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you think
know a
Matt
lot about
Ryan,
quality quarterback play out there?
Do you think Matt Ryan
is got to say?
Yeah, literally talk. Quick question. Do you think Matt Ryan is a bit overrated? 100%. And I said, why do you think that? Same reasons. He had great wide routes to throw to and was having pass-heavy offense his whole career. Can't win shit. Simple. That's it. That's it to a T.
You're going to shit on a quarterback because he's in a pass-heavy offense? That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. And I'm not even saying that maybe Matt Ryan is overrated. I'm saying you can't shit on him for being in a pass-heavy offense when if he is one of the best quarterbacks, like Seth and Jordan are saying. It should be a pass-heavy offense. Wasn't the Saints a pass-heavy offense when Drew Brees was there?
And how are we going to say that he I just don't understand. How are we going to say he can never win shit? He took his team to the Super Bowl. So we're saying unless you win a Super Bowl, you can't win shit? That's what we're saying? So you saying Dan Marino couldn't win shit? Come on, bro. That's a clown take. You know that's a clown take, man.
What are your thoughts on Phillip Rivers, J-Bone?
I think he's in the same boat, to be honest.
That's the player I compare Matt Ryan to.
Good, not great.
Phillip Rivers. And as a Colts fan and not really, I've probably watched 5 Matt Ryan NFL games, and they were probably all against the Colts. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl because I don't watch the Super Bowl if the Colts aren't in it. And as an outsider, I'll say that I've never thought Matt Ryan was the best quarterback in the NFL, even during the stretch you guys said. So that's not a reality. And yeah, I don't want to say he's overrated because I haven't seen him enough to play. The statistics would show that he is one of the best quarterbacks. And as a Colts fan, only getting 1 Super Bowl and playing in 2 when we had, some would argue, the greatest quarterback of all time, you can't measure it in wins and losses because, like, when you're watching your team's playoffs year in and year out, you see where, like one time we played the Chargers and their punter punted us in the 5-yard line, like every single time he punted, you know? The fan of that team, like Falcons fans, know every bounce of the ball that didn't go their way that stopped them from going further in the playoffs. And you're a Saints fan, you know the same thing. So you can't necessarily judge it on playoff victories and Super Bowls because, man, it's a very fine line of winning and losing. And a lot of times things happen that aren't a quarterback's mistake.
We talk about Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan was good in the fourth quarter, but where he was needed the most was the Super Bowl game.
He had almost a perfect quarterback rating.
He didn't score a single touchdown in the final quarter.
Okay, so you're gonna say he had a perfect.
Where was he in the final quarter?
He threw a dime to Julio Jones. The last pass he completed in the Super Bowl was like a 40-yard dime to Julio Jones, and then
all day long. But if you don't score, what does it matter?
But no, listen to yourself, bro. Like, dude, how is it on him that they called 3 straight running plays and got called for a hold and got tackled for like an 8-yard loss? The last pass he threw was an absolute
overcome it.
Oh my God, bro, you overcome it. Okay, thanks, J-Bone.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just a clown argument, dude. You're saying overcome it, dude.
Some of the most idiotic analysis I've ever heard.
I said good.
Let's go with your hour, bro.
Dumb. Dude, this is one of the dumbest things. I know you hate Matt Ryan because you're a Saints fan.
I don't hate
fine.
Matt Ryan.
I'm not going to shit on Drew Brees because I'm a Falcons fan. This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I don't hate Matt Ryan.
You just said that Matt Ryan was successful because he was in a passing offense. Why was Drew Brees successful? Because he was in a passing offense with a passing quarterback, with a passing coach. What kind of stupid fucking
and it was also balanced offense too.
But
he
and
won
the
a
weapons
Super Bowl because they cheated. Shut up.
and you look at all the like Manning had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. Does that make him less of a quarterback? Brady had Gronkowski and Wes Welker. Randy Moss? Does that make him less of a quarterback?
They won the team doesn't know how to draft fucking receivers.
They won the Super Bowl.
I know, but I know my point though. But did they win it because Brady had weapons, or did they win it because Brady?
It's Brady.
So why in one case is it
a different conversation?
Why is it different? Why is it like some quarterbacks are penalized because they have good weapons, but then some quarterbacks are worshipped because they have good weapons? I don't get it.
I mean, we really could sit here and come.
We're not comparing Matt Ryan and Tom Brady. Okay. Answer the question: did he have those weapons or not?
Who are we talking about?
Tom Brady. Did he not have one of the greatest tight ends, if not the greatest tight end?
Oh, the greatest tight end ever. So, his best years in his peak, he had Randy Moss, who was at his peak, killing. He has Wes Welker, the greatest slot receiver of all time.
Not to mention he had top 10 defenses every year.
And the best coach ever.
If you see what Wes Welker did after he left Brady, he was not as good.
Yeah, look at what all those Falcons receivers you just talked about did after they left Matt Ryan. Tell me one of them that had more success.
What's Julio done?
And Wes Welker did fine with the Broncos for a season, and Wes Welker was killing it with Miami before he went to New England. So don't sit there and say that Brady was the reason Wes Welker was good.
I said Matt Ryan is not great. He's good. That's what I stand by.
And, you know, after all this said, I actually kind of agree with J-Bone. As an outsider, I just don't think Matt Ryan is great. But I didn't think Phillip Rivers was amazing. He's good. He's a franchise quarterback. He's going to be there, a whole starter but I don't know. Great? I don't know. I kind of agree.
I say yes, Hall of Fame.
I guess
Hall of Fame,
now
yes.
we're just saying.
Yeah.
you can just win an MVP by just fucking, just go out there and throw a couple passes to Julio. You'll win MVP. I wouldn't worry about it. Like, that's what we're saying now. Oh, I guess I'm forgetting all the Detroit Lions MVPs that Matt Stafford won throwing to Calvin Johnson, who might be the best receiver ever. Yeah, let's just forget that.
You can also argue that Aaron Rodgers could have won the MVP that year, too. But,
I can also argue that Aaron Rodgers is a chode, but we'll move on.
Well,
I think if we went through every year of Matt Ryan's career, I think me and JBONE at least could probably name 5 quarterbacks better. So I'm going to say that Matt Ryan was never a top 5 QB in the league while he was there.
I would go back, look at those numbers 2016 to 2018.
Actually,
he put up some big numbers.
2016, I would say he was in the top 3.
In 2016, statistically, like if you look at actual like yards per attempt and stuff, was one of the greatest seasons a quarterback ever had. But,
all right, well, then I'll give you that year. He was great that year.
Here's the other thing about Matt Ryan, man. If that Super Bowl would have went differently, if the last 12 minutes of that game would have went differently, I don't think we'd even be having this conversation right now. I just think as disastrous as that game was, and I've talked to, that game was fucking emotionally scarring to me, man.
And
like,
I didn't know, honestly, like, I know it was. I didn't want to.
If that game would have went different, we wouldn't be having this. That would have been legacy stamped. He's good to go.
Yeah.
And I think
if Frog had wings, Seth, he wouldn't bump his ass.
You're right.
You know?
I think the wins-losses thing, I think judging QBs on wins and losses is just super simplistic, and
I'm with you on
the
that.
laziest analysis that you can do, man.
And I didn't base mine on wins and losses.
No, you're right. And if you really want to look at that, like I said, look at the fourth quarter comebacks. That's 37 times Matt Ryan turned an L into a dub in the fourth quarter.
So go around the horn. Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer, yes or no?
I'll start.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he'll get in. And I went to the NFL Hall of Fame, and my first thought is they need to be more picky. Or they're going to have to get a new building.
Yeah.
Because they had 5 motherfuckers a year. I think it should be a bit more choosy. And I'm not even saying even if they were more picky that Matt Ryan wouldn't make it, but I'm saying in general. I'm
a big fan. I've had a vision of like breaking up the Hall of Fame into like different wings, man. I think you need like Pantheon, right? With like your Brady, your Johnny Unitas, your Joe Montana. Then you got like your Hall of really good, like the guys like Matt Ryan would be there, right? The guys who were really, really good for a long time, but maybe never like the tippy top for enough. And then you could have like your shooting stars, for the guys like Bo Jackson, Devin Hester, people who were like really spectacular for 1 or 2 years and then kind of faded away, man. Yeah, I'd be down for that. But I think they make so much money by bringing in 5 or 6 guys every year that they're going to keep doing the whole
We could have the murderers wing where he put O.J. Simpson and Ray Lewis. That would be great.
What was the tight end for the Patriots too, man?
Oh,
Ray Caruth. You get
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
The Aaron Hernandez wing.
They deserve it.
Okay,
so I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Hall of Famer, probably not a first ballot, and half of us say he's great, the other half say he's good, which probably means he's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm right. Moving on, though, unless anyone has any thoughts on Matt Ryan. Any closing thoughts? You want to pay homage? You want to do anything? Since you've seen your favorite quarterback ever play his last game?
I think he's coming back, man. I think Frank Reich is fired in about 3 weeks, and I think whoever comes in brings Matt Ryan back in.
I think he is going to be fired in 3 weeks.
I don't think he's going to be fired only because
he's such a good coach.
No, not at all. Because they like him and they don't want to. And the benching was Irsay. If it was up to Reich, Matt Ryan would still be starting. He'd have to sit out this week because he's legitimately injured. Because I even read Irsay had a meeting with Ballard and Reich when they got home from Tennessee that night. And Irsay's not standing for this shit. He had 2 goals at the beginning of the season. One was to win a season opener and to beat Tennessee. And we got swept by Tennessee. We didn't win our season opener. Now we're only a game out of leading the division, so we can still win it, but we're not going to. And
hey, real quick, Pro Football Talk right here. This is ABC Sports. Just said Ryan is done. He's out. He won't play again for reasons rooted in his contract. Put simply, once the team decided, it was clear from Coach Frank Reich the comments that owner Jim Irsay made the decision that Ryan will not be the quarterback in 2023. It was simple time to pull the plug in 2023.
What, he had like some incentives or something tied to playing time?
More likely.
I read some contract where if he's on the roster in I think it's more for next year. If he's on the roster for 2023, we own like $17 million. So
got it. So like his contract for next year gets guaranteed at some point?
Yeah, well, he has injury guarantee. So this year we're saving money because he has injury. I think I read somewhere he has injury guarantees in his contract, and it's going to be cheaper for the Colts to pay injury guarantees than the remainder of his regular season salary, something to that effect. And I get confused when I'm reading these contracts because I don't even think the people who write them know what they're saying.
It sounds like they knew their offensive line was horrible.
Well, Frank Reich said it. He was like, we promised Matt Ryan a great offensive line and a great running game, and we haven't delivered, which, again, that's on coaching. But enough of this bullshit. We're going to move on.
Moving on
to Christian McCaffrey. That's the biggest news of the week by far. Running back for the Carolina Panthers, traded to the San Francisco 49ers. So we're going to play a little game of over-under here before we dive deep into the Christian McCaffrey, just to kind of start it off. So he has 10 games left with the 49ers. And so I based these numbers on that 10 games. So we'll start off with touchdowns. And this is total rushing and receiving touchdowns. Over-under, Jordan. Will he have over-under 10 total TDs for the rest of the season?
I'll go under on that. I feel like the way they use Debo is going to kind of cut into the way they use Christian McCaffrey. Just because, they use Debo as a running back just as much as they use him as a receiver. I feel like that's going to hurt him a little bit. But, yeah, I'll go under on that one.
Yeah, same. I go under. Historically, Kyle Shanahan likes to have a stable of running backs. And like I talked about in the group chat a little bit this week, man, I see this as a move for January. I do think the Niners are going to get hot and go and run it sometime, but I think they're going to make sure Christian McCaffrey is at 110% for the playoffs.
I'm going to go under too. Hey, real quick, Hawk, Kearns tried to send me a deal today involving Christian McCaffrey. I was like, nah, bro.
Of course.
I totally forgot what it was. As soon as I saw it, I just went, nope.
Never accept trades from him ever. That's my advice to you.
So, yeah, no, under 10 for sure.
I'm going to say under 10 just because I don't think it's that huge of a pickup for the Niners in general. But let's get to receiving yards. So we're going to go 500 receiving yards, which is an average of 50 yards a game for the remainder of the season. Over, under, Jordan?
This is where I think he does go over. I just feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is who he is, and they're going to be doing a lot of short dumps to him. So I feel like this is where he will help them. I mean, I figure he'll get 5 or 6 catches a week. He can easily get over 50 yards with that.
Yeah, I agree. I say over for the same reasons. Jimmy G's check down king, and I think that's going to be where he gets the majority of his work.
I guess we argued way too much. Now I just have to agree. But yeah, over 50. I mean, easy. Yeah, originally you said over 70. I was like, no.
I was looking at his best seasons ever, and I'm like, well, we shouldn't do his best seson. We should do kind of an average. That's why I lowered it. I'm like,
right.
Yeah,
that's a good call. Yeah, no, I think he'll get close to 50 though per game.
I'm gonna be the oddball here, and I'm gonna say under just because, again, I just think the NFL is one of those leagues where you have it, you lose it, you never get it back again. We've seen the best of McCaffrey, regardless of what team he's on. Jimmy G is a good quarterback. He's not amazing, and they have more weapons to distribute the ball around. So I'm gonna say under for 500 receiving yards. And so now let's go rushing. We'll say 500, which is 50 a game average. Jordan, over
I'm going to go under on this. They got Elijah Mitchell coming back. Still got Jeff Wilson. I don't feel like he's going to get a ton of carries this year. I feel like all of his work is going to be in the passing game.
Yeah, I say under. I just don't see him getting the touches. I don't think the workload is going to be there. But if he catches fire, maybe they'll keep feeding him. And this is the one I could kind of see going either way. He did look good on Sunday. The few touches that he did have against the Chiefs.
Yeah, you mentioned Elijah Mitchell, former Raging Cajun. He's coming back. And then with the use of Debo, I don't see it. He's going to be used more in screen passes and dump passes basically.
I'm with you. Under 50 a game, just because, again, I'm not high on it. So then the last over-under here, Niners wins. They have 10 games left. They have their bye still. So we're going to go 6 wins, over-under, and explain why you're answering how you are, Jordan.
I'm going to go over. I feel like this team is starting to get healthy now, which – they desperately need. I mean, they were missing a ton of defensive starters. Those guys are starting to come back. I do feel like McCaffrey's going to add something to that offense. What it is, I don't know. Kyle Shanahan is a really good offensive coordinator, so I think he will get it together, and they'll start scoring more points. But yeah, I mean, that's really my reasoning. Their defense is going to be solid when they're all back, and I think their offense can do enough to get them to over 6 wins.
Do you think he gets him the division? Do you think the Niners win the division?
I mean, dude, what is their number one competition right now? The Seahawks?
Yeah.
The Rams aren't good.
They already beat the Rams this year.
San Francisco's going to win the division.
Yeah, I agree over. I watched that game on Sunday afternoon, and I know it sounds bad after losing freaking 44-23, but the Niners looked good that game. It was a lot closer than the score showed. If they had a couple chances there at the end of the third, if they would have got a stop, I think that game could have played out a lot differently in the fourth quarter. But they just got so much talent, man. Jimmy G is always going to put a little bit of a cap on exactly how good you're going to be week to week, but they're just loaded with talent, and I think Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league. So yeah, I see them going. I don't see them losing more than.
Frozen Seth.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
We got you.
You froze a little bit.
You're back. You're froze.
And he's back. I'm gonna go over, but I'm even gonna say 7 wins. This is the remaining schedule, real quick. Rams. I think the Rams will probably beat them this week, just because it's hard to beat a divisional team twice, and it is in Los Angeles. I am gonna say that is a loss, but coming up, we got Chargers, Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, Bucks, Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals. So
that's a lot of wins.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
It might even be 8. So
didn't they lose to the Jets or some shit though? They lost to a really shitty team they shouldn't have lost to early in the season.
We're not going to
the Niners. They lost to the Bears, but that game was
the
like,
Bears. Yeah,
it was like
the rain
forced
game.
winds. I want to say it was like 27, 28 mile per hour winds. I think you got to throw that one out. Yeah.
Seth makes a lot of excuses for players. It's always like, if this, if that. It's
I'm not making an excuse, but the weather was so crazy that game that I kind of just throw that one out, man. I think that was like it was a whatever game, man.
And they
it was
also
like the Bills-Patriots game on Monday night last season when it was like 35 mile per hour winds and the Patriots won, but they only threw the ball like 3 times. Like some games you can't really factor it into your analysis.
And it was Trey Lance.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say under because I'm not going to ride the Niners' dick like you guys are. Like everything, you guys love the Niners for no reason. They haven't done anything for you to like them. You're just like, Shanahan's a great coach. It's like, okay, really?
I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl. 2 of the last 3 years, they've been one of the last 4 teams playing. I think they're pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm not high on the Niners. I'm not high on McCaffrey, so I think it's going to be mediocrity joining mediocrity, and they're going to get about 4 to 5 wins and probably finish. I'll say they could probably get second. I wouldn't be shocked to see them finish third in the division.
What?
Cardinals are dumpster fire, so I think they're going to get last.
I'm really starting to understand why you suck at fantasy football.
Hey, also, JBONE, you talked about it being hard to sweep a team. The Niners have swept the Rams in 2020 and 2021. They won both their season games.
I know it's possible.
Oh, then the Rams are due to win. So.
Yeah,
no, the Rams got their win last year in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I know it's possible. I'm just saying. That's what I'm going with. Rams are gonna get it. They're due one. That's all.
And they were just coming off a bye, so I'm sure Matt Stafford's arm is magically healed now.
Yeah, he just got that. He got some magic surgery or something. I don't know.
I think he's just got knocked loopy and thinks he's on the Lions again, and so he's like, "Oh, this feels right."
Just throw it up downfield into triple coverage. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts on Christian McCaffrey before we talk about some other notable trades in the NFL?
Nope.
All right, so the biggest one probably would be James Robinson to the Jets from the Jags. Obviously, the Jets were in dire need after losing their RB1.
There you go.
Does anybody have does this make the Jets better at all? Or is this...
The Jets are still worse not having Breece Hall. Breece Hall was on his way to having a monster season before he got hurt.
Yeah. I had never even heard of him.
James Robinson, dude.
He was looking like one of the best 5 or 6 offensive players in the league, man. This past couple weeks. At the end of the day, Robinson's a Band-Aid. It's going to be on Zach Wilson leveling up, and I don't know. He has made some nice plays in the past. He's had some flashes, but I don't see it happening. I think this dude gets exposed, and I think the Jets are probably about to come crashing back down to earth.
I have Zach Wilson as a QB on my fantasy team, so I know he's terrible because even though the Jets are winning, exactly, he's not doing anything. I looked at the score, because I always check the scores before I check my fantasy team because I like to check the box score before I actually see my fantasy scores. And I'm looking, I see the Jets score. They'd put up 20-some points or something, maybe.
I think he had 11 pass attempts or something, right?
Yeah, and he was just him and Kyler Murray both. It's like they put up all these points, but they're not doing anything. So, in general, I think the Jets are definitely not as good as their record shows because they have issues at QB, and when you have issues at QB, you're going to have issues at running back. I don't even think this is an upgrade for James Robinson. Most of the time when you're getting out of Jacksonville, you're like, thank God. But I don't think James Robinson's like, thank God.
He was having a decent season, and it's like...
He hasn't done anything in the past 3 games, though.
They've been going to Travis Etienne pretty much exclusively.
Yeah.
Then the other trade, which is not even big, it's just a trade, is the Cowboys got Jonathan Hankins from the Raiders for a 7th-round draft pick. So that tells you how good Hankins is. Does this move the needle at all?
Their defensive line is
Yawn.
Jonathan Hankins could have been one of the jobbers from AW Dark last week for all I know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't fucking know.
Their defensive line is nasty.
Yeah. But who gives a fuck?
AEW Dark would be an upgrade for this cat.
A couple rumors on the rumor mill here is people are reaching out to the Broncos for a couple of their stars or players. Chubb, D-end, and Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver, are 2 names that have been floated. Would you recommend Denver kind of cleaning house? Because I don't know if everyone else has recognized the Russell Wilson mistake. I don't know if the Broncos have yet. So let's just, for instance, say the Broncos have recognized let's go hypothetically speaking, they know Russell Wilson was a bad idea and they're going to move on from him on the offseason. Do the Broncos clean house?
Well, I was going to mention this later on in the episode, but yes, I do think they just need to abandon ship. I don't know what you do with Russell, though, specifically, because he's got a big contract tied to him.
He's playing like Matt Ryan. Russell Wilson, he really is. And Matt Ryan just got benched.
Opposite sides of the same coin for sure. Veteran quarterbacks came and hyped up and just fell off a cliff. You know what I mean?
I want to let you guys know, since we're talking about the Broncos and cutting bait on Russell Wilson, just so you guys know what this looks like. If they cut him next season, his dead cap is $107 million.
I know it's a lot. Yeah, I know it's a lot.
The year after that, it is $85 million. They are not cutting Russell Wilson.
You're right. I did not know that.
They should not unload everybody, because if they do, then what's Russell Wilson throwing to? At least give him a chance to be doing something. Like, they're going to trade somebody. I guess it would be Chubb. That would be my guess. I guess they'd get enough picks for him where they'd trade him. But it ain't good either way.
I think they got to just stomach it, man. Like Jordan said, they're so tied up to Russell Wilson. And I think they still got a talented roster, man. Like, it's unless he makes a miraculous comeback from this injury, it's looking like a total failure, this trade for him. But I still think they got a lot of talent there. They should ride the course because they're going to end up most likely having a high draft pick. And we've seen, dude, there's no better way to win quickly in the NFL than getting a good quarterback on one of those rookie deals where they're cheap and you can still pay the rest of the roster. Now, I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to turn into a cancer in the locker room if he ends up being a backup or in like a role next season. But I don't know what good it does to you trading away the talent that you do still have on board if you because you're not going to be able to do a full rebuild with this Russell Wilson contract like anchor on the rest of your roster.
Hey, so just so you know, that whole draft pick thing you just said is all well and good. Too bad they owe the 1st and 2nd round picks to Seattle.
Yeah. They mortgaged their future for this guy. That's the difference between the Colts and the Broncos. We didn't mortgage our future for Matt Ryan. They did for Russell.
Whatever performance enhancers Tom Brady was on the last 8 or 9 years, he needs to get on the TB12 method to get back to what he used to be, man. Because I guess that's the Broncos' only
So as far as being a locker room cancer, so first off, he's a perpetual optimist to a point to where like ex-players are like, be human, dude. Show some emotion, show some anger after losses, like some.
Rock
and
those
then
country, let's ride.
He's
and
a
then
cliche machine.
I listened to Marshawn Lynch, and you aren't allowed to contact Russell Wilson personally. You have to go through his manager, even if you're friends with him. Like, you have to go through Russell Wilson's manager to even contact him outside of work, which is like Marshawn Lynch can't contact Russell Wilson directly. So that tells you a little something. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a locker room cancer, but what I'm hearing doesn't sound like a good teammate. Like, sometimes when you're pissed off after a loss, you want your quarterback to be fired up and pissed too. And if Russell Wilson's just giving all these fucking cliche statements like, there's always next week's guys, shit like that, though, it's tiring. Sometimes you want people to share in your fucking misery. So, I don't know. The dead cat, you're right. With the dead cap, he's not fucking going anywhere. And there's no way any team is going to trade for Russell Wilson after this season.
No.
So, I would say that the Broncos, they're fucked, is what we'll say.
Yeah.
All right. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about Tua. It's his first game back from getting his head knocked off and dying on the field. And they already put him back out there. And the question is, should he be playing? Jordan, what do you think?
So this is the problem is, I mean, you can recommend that somebody doesn't play, but once you get cleared, I mean, it comes up to their decision whether or not they want to play. And if he wants to play football, who am I to tell him he shouldn't play? I mean, that's his right. That's his job, and that's what he wants to do. Like, I mean, if he wants to risk dying on the field, that's his choice, not mine. I mean, it was one of those things where I don't think he should be playing, but I'm also not Tua or an NFL quarterback making $25 million a year. So
he's got to make better decisions, though. I mean, and I get it. Like, the instinct is to put your head down, trying to truck somebody coming through. But dude, you just came back from almost looks like almost you were brain dead at one point. I mean, you got to make better decisions with your body. That's the only thing I worry about. But you're right. I mean, he's his own man. And I know he's trying to make a play, but dude, you got to think the long term here. Not just career wise, but just your overall health. If he wants to play, fuck it, let him play.
So I'm with you. I'm obviously when they're concussed, you have to step in and be like, sorry, you can't go back on the field. You stumbled off, because they don't even know where they're at. So yeah, then you pull them. But as far as going through, getting healthy and being able to play, if you make the decision, I'm out there, then yeah, it's your choice. But and it's not like it used to be, because back in the day, you just played through injury and people expected it. Now in today's sports, if you're injured, people don't shit on you as much for sitting during injuries, because the game's gotten
more violent,
way more dangerous.
Yeah.
So we'll all agree that
Steph didn't say anything yet.
I
agree. I mean, I'm with you guys. This guy's got access to better doctors than any of us have, and he's a grown-ass man. At the end of the day, he's still playing for a second contract. He hasn't gotten a contract extension yet, and if you're first-round draft pick, that first contract is nice, but that second contract you get, that is generational wealth, where his great-grandkids aren't going to have to worry about money. So I'm not, I don't think it's anybody's place to tell this guy, don't go out there and earn that money, man. So he knows the risk. He's a big boy, and I think he's comfortable with it, obviously.
Just play smarter. That's all I'll say, man.
I know Hawk didn't watch the game. Seth, did you? And I know JBONE watched it. Did you watch it, Seth?
I did.
Did you notice the first quarter, it seemed like they were trying to get his feet wet, so they just did two-step drops and then just get rid of the ball, let Tyreek and Jalen do it. For some reason, after the first quarter, they were like, fuck it, roll out to the left, roll out to the right, do whatever you want, man. We're good now. I thought that was a perfect game plan for him not getting hit.
Yeah.
Why would you not use those two fast receivers to your advantage? I'd be throwing those guys 5-yard dumps every chance I got.
Yeah. Didn't they put up 16 points, though? So is it really a great game plan? Maybe not to get him injured, but
16
not to...
points in the first half. That was the entire scoring.
They didn't score at all in the second half?
Neither team scored in the second half.
Yeah.
It was a terrible game. I just watched the first half, and then I was flipping back and forth between that and the ALCS, and so I was like, yeah, I'm sticking with the ALCS. But yeah.
All right. Now we'll save one of these for next week. So this week we'll do teams that were supposed to be good that aren't good and now are going to be in a complete rebuild in the offseason. Jordan.
This is not a shot at JBONE at all, but New Orleans needs
I agree
that they need to rebuild.
I agree. I agree with you.
Dude, at some point you have to stop kicking the can down the road and keep paying all these guys all this money. You have to just accept you're not good. And they're not good.
I agree.
I mean, Michael Thomas is getting paid $15 million to nurse a toe. Like, I just don't know what this team is doing. They signed a lot of guys that I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like Landry wants to play either. It doesn't seem like he's hurrying to get back on the field. I think they went with the hometown boys, and it is failing miserably.
Yeah, and to add to that, like they decided to trade away C.J. Gardner-Johnson,
which is one of their best defensive players.
If you're in a rebuild,
keep
that's what you do. If you're in a complete rebuild, like you think they're going to go into, that's exactly what you would do, though, because you don't build your franchise around a star cornerback. But
you did that in the beginning of the season.
When you thought you were going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, so they traded him. It wasn't in season.
It was
It was in the preseason. Like,
not to mention they traded their first-round pick for next year for a lineman in this draft, and that first-round pick's going to end up being top 10 the way it looks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty shitty. Seth, go ahead.
I'll say the Colts, man. I think, I like Chris Ballard, man. Aside from the quarterback job, I think he's done a pretty good job putting this team together. I don't know what happened with the O-line because I feel like the last couple of years, the O-line for the Colts was really strong, but it may be coaching or a scheme thing. But I think the biggest thing they need to do, man, is stop trying to put these Band-Aid fixes at quarterback and getting somebody else's sloppy seconds. You're going to end up with a high draft pick most likely this year because I don't really see, the backup coming in and setting the world on fire. I think just take one of the best QBs available and just develop them, whether it's with Frank Reich or whoever the next guy in line is. But that's my recommendation to the Colts, man. It's very rare in NFL history that you see, even though Brady and Stafford have had success here recently, it's rare you see a QB come in from another team and really, set the world on fire. So I don't know.
And I agree with you to a certain extent. I don't think they're a complete rebuild, though. So we had 7 Pro Bowlers, and like I said before, it's at all the wrong positions. So when I say it's not a complete rebuild, we're going to lose a lot of Pro Bowlers in the offseason, but because you can't pay a fucking – your highest paid positions can't be fucking left tackle, center, right tackle, fucking slot cornerback. D tackle's fine to have your highest paid player. And then our linebacker, Darius Leonard, I love him, but he's weak sideline. He's not even a strong side linebacker. So we're going to lose a lot of the core that we had that we thought was competitive. And I was looking, there's about 6 or 7 teams that are going to be needing a quarterback in the offseason. And as bad as the Colts are, 6 of those teams are probably going to finish with worse records than the Colts. So in my mind, we need to trade into the first top 10 to get a quarterback, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to because so many teams need quarterbacks in the offseason. And so I know you don't want to patchwork it again. And I know Ellinger's not. I don't have any grand illusions that Sam Ellinger is going to come in and be this fucking showstopper. I do think we're going to score more points than with Matt Ryan because you could do that by accident. I could go out there and fucking score 10 points, I think, just by handing the ball to Taylor. So rebuild, not complete rebuild, but my pick is the Bucks because I think Brady's gone and they have no backup plan for that. And this whole core they had built around Brady for the last 3 years, they're all a year older.
Veterans, man.
Yeah.
So I'd say the Bucks. I'd say this is their last year of relevance before a complete rebuild.
So I was actually gonna mention the Bucks. However, with the NFC South being a dumpster fire, I mean, you still have a chance to. I mean, a very good chance of making the playoffs. You could be a top 4 seed. So, in that regard, I'm going to say no, hold off. But I will say, team that. I mean, even this team also still has a chance. It's hard because there's a lot of teams that still are in the hunt right now. But one team that I think needs to look at their future because they have no future, really have no future, is the Rams.
Yes.
Start just dissolving the team because honestly, they're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, okay, cool. You made the playoffs, but you lost in the playoffs. Is that really your goal? No, your goal is to win the Super Bowl. Your goal is to repeat. They're not repeating this year, even though they may have a chance to make the playoffs. You desperately need draft picks back. Get rid of some players and kind of surround a team where it's around Cooper, and then next year you can bring in a quarterback.
But I think the Rams are the same way. Like, if you lose Stafford, I'm not saying he's going to retire, and I don't think Stafford's as washed as Russ Wilson or Matt Ryan. Although maybe he is, I don't know. And you get to that point though, and especially the Rams, you have no draft capital for the next 2 or 3 seasons.
That's why
if you have Cooper Kupp, who gives a fuck if you don't have a good quarterback throwing to him? You almost trade Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
If not this season, next season, because the Rams have looked bad, but I just find it hard to believe that they could be this bad. So I think they might have a little late season surge where they sneak into the playoffs maybe.
I agree with that, Hawk. The other thing about the Rams, man, that obviously, Matt Stafford may not be as bad because I think it's a health thing, really. I think the dude could probably still play. It seems like it's something with that elbow. Yeah. But it may not be as bad as we all think. If you guys saw the news, they ended up being the runner-up for McCaffrey. They were like the team that ended up being, the last chick on The Bachelor that didn't get the rose or whatever in the Christian McCaffrey sweepstakes. And I think Les Snead and McVay, they're smart guys, man. I don't see them going all in on him if they knew that this season is cooked anyway. So, maybe Stafford rallies and they keep it going for a little bit longer. Because, I just can't imagine that they were going to give up another high pick for McCaffrey if they knew they were already fucked for this season.
I didn't even think they had any left to give up.
I don't know where they're coming from, man, but they don't care. Whatever they're digging they're trading like the 2031 first round draft pick for Christian McCaffrey.
They're one of those teams that almost makes you feel like the salary cap's a mythical thing that people talk about. Because I think
there's so many ways to manipulate those contracts, man. Because I remember in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you would always hear about teams being in salary cap hell and have to rebuild. I feel like that was a much bigger part of the conversation than it is nowadays. You know what I mean? Teams, no salary cap room. You're like, fuck, my team's just screwed,
Well, our GM said it best. He's like, the bill always comes eventually. You can push it back. The Saints, I think, had that issue with the salary cap. They kept pushing it back.
It's really coming.
And now it's really coming.
But
we're running a bit late, so I think we'll skip everything else and go to Josh McDaniels' watch, our weekly, because as everyone knows, Seth here thinks that Josh McDaniels is, and I quote, a great coach. So we'll throw it to Seth.
You didn't let me throw the bumper.
I totally forgot about it, man. Next week I'll remember though. I didn't know. I forgot.
That's why I just said I'm gonna play it.
All right,
so they finally got the big win this week. They won by 18 against the lowly Texans. This is after one loss game after one loss game. And I think the wins are going to keep coming out. They just need to see that one W up on the board to keep it going. They're 2-4, but they got a positive point differential. I'm a big fan of looking at point differential to really judge how good a team is. They have outscored their opponents so far this season. It's just, a couple of those games were just heartbreakers, man. So the wins are going to keep coming on. The Chargers are about to fall off. I think the Chargers are a mirage right now at 4-3. They're going to fall off, and I think they're going to end up being the runner-up to the Chiefs and get the wild card just like last year.
The Raiders?
The Raiders.
No. I stand by my Josh McDaniels is not a good coach, and that's my weekly summation of the Josh McDaniels watch.
You have to
I'm telling you guys right now, it is. What's
they're 2-4.
The
they beat the fucking Texans. Why would that change anything of what I said last week?
It is October 25th, 2022. 3 years from now, after the 2024 season, Bill Belichick's going to retire. Josh McDaniels is going to come back home to New England. And him and Bailey Zappi are going to
Zappe,
team up to be the first ever quarterback coach combo.
There we go.
Three straight Super Bowls.
Let's talk about Bailey getting zapped.
Zach comes in and throws a 30-yard pass, and you fucking cum yourself.
Dude,
the first two drives he came in, they scored. The crowd is chanting the whole freaking Foxborough Stadium. Zappy. He electrified that crowd.
Hey, that was a really cool 5-minute moment. Tell me what he did the rest of the game.
He's 2-0 as a starter.
He was mouthing Stacy's mom.
So is Jacoby Brissett as the Patriots starter.
Yeah, but look how he's doing for the Browns. He's not doing shit, dude.
That's my point.
Freaking, they would have
now you just proved my point for me.
Game.
Going 2-0 doesn't make you a quarterback.
If they would have started Zappe, they won that game, man. I'm convinced. I bet you Zappe starts this week before the Colts 2023 opening day starter Mac Jones is going to the bench the rest of the season. And Bailey's hey, don't worry, be Zappe.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Moving on. All right, JBONE, let's get the crystal ball in here.
Is Matt Ryan a great quarterback?
Sources say yes.
Is Seth going to pronounce Herbert's name right? I can't. No, he's dumb. Oh.
Hebert sounds better, dude. Hebert's a better quarterback name. Herbert sounds lame.
Have you been saying that for 3 years? When you got corrected last week, was that the first time you've been like, oh yeah, I've been saying that?
I think he was thinking of Bobby.
So honestly, he doesn't come up in conversation a lot. To be honest, I really haven't had a lot. I think it's just because the Chargers are on the West Coast and haven't had a lot of team success. I've read about him a lot and texted about him a lot. I've rarely said his name out loud, and also I was a little bit tipsy, so it was just coming out sideways, man. But yeah, I did know it was Herbert. I knew his name was.
You do know it's spelled Herbert also.
Yeah.
Even if you aren't saying it, you say you're reading it. I'm like, but it's spelled Herbert.
It's Herbie Hancock.
I know, but I'd never said Hebert. It just rolled off the tongue a little bit better, man.
It's all right.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the schedule, and I don't really see a game of the week, so I think we're just going to go down this list in order, starting with Thursday Night Football. Ravens at Bucks. Jordan, start us off.
That's actually a pretty good, decent Thursday night game. It's upgrade.
It's the first reasonable one, but the Bucks aren't good, so we'll see.
I still don't think the Ravens are good either, though, is the problem. Like, they just don't look like a team that's functioning. The Bucks are not good, but it's short week. They're at home. It might be a low-scoring game. I'm just going to take the Bucks just on I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady with Lamar Jackson being the other quarterback.
Yeah, I think the Bucks win also. Lamar Jackson's my starting quarterback in fantasy, so I've been watching his games closely this year. First 2.5 games, he looked freaking awesome. I was like, all right, I'm already booking myself to win the championship this year. But it's fallen off big time, and I think this week kind of gets the national attention where people are like, dude, what's going on with the Ravens? I think Bucks win.
Also, Mark Andrews did not practice on Monday. He's hurt with the knee. He was pulled. That's basically his only target. Bucks win.
Plot thickens with Mark Andrews out. I'm going to say the Bucks because this was in our preseason show when we made predictions. I said that the Ravens are kind of overrated. I think Lamar Jackson is overrated. I'm not saying he isn't good. I'm just saying he's overrated because people would put him in like top 5 of the NFL, and I don't. There's 5 quarterbacks I'd take over Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I would take Deshaun Watson over Lamar Jackson. He hasn't even played a game this year.
I'd take Pat Ryan over Lamar Jackson.
I wouldn't do that. But, again, he has to prove it, and this has been his forte the whole time he's been in the league. Like, the Ravens are constantly giving up big leads, and they never dominate as they are supposed to be in They always come in with these expectations, and it's to a point now to where I know you don't want to fire John Harbaugh because he's been there, and he's a solid coach, but I don't know if you're ever going to get another Super Bowl with him. I don't know. Do they part ways with Harbaugh? No. We'll see, but I'm going to go Bucks just because it's Brady at home on Thursday, primetime. Ravens aren't good. All right, we got the Broncos at the Jaguars.
Oh, my God. I'll say the Broncos score a defensive touchdown to win that game.
It's the only way they're gonna win.
I pray to God this is not a regional game for me.
Oh God!
I say Jaguars win, man. I think they're. I don't think they're a good team by any means. I think they're a little bit better than they've shown so far. I say Jags beat the Broncos. I think the Broncos suck.
Man, can both teams lose?
They can tie. Trust me, I've seen one this year.
So
Two bad
it's a
teams
loss.
could play to a tie.
So we're saying that's a loss then.
No, it actually counts as a win when you have two teams in with identical records. The tie counts as a win. So no, it actually counts as a win, motherfucker.
Okay,
So fuck off.
So I'm asking, can both teams lose? I'm gonna go Jags.
I'm also gonna go Jags. It's at old Daly's place. So
Ooh, that home field
That's not
advantage
even-
is really gonna do it.
That's not even the state.
May as well be.
Hey, the Jags do got positive point differential on the season so far. Even though they're 2-5, they've somehow outscored their opponents.
Is that what you Google? Like during the NFL, everyone's watching the games, and you're Googling point differential.
I'm looking at the numbers, dude. I think wins and losses are overrated. Even though it's the only stat that really matters, I still think I think it's overrated.
They didn't make the playoffs, but they had the best points differential in the NFL, so it's a success.
Seth is auditioning for Moneyball 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you where you can shove that point differential when it comes to the season. It's like, give me a playoff team. I don't give a fuck about the rest. All right. Cardinals at Vikings.
Vikings off of a bye. They're just playing well, man. And as long as it's not prime time, I can pick the Vikings, so I'll go Vikings.
Dude, I was at work today. I actually had to go in the office, and I'm trying to kill time. So I was actually looking at the NFL playoff picture right now. Dude, I think the Vikings, they got a serious chance at making it out of the NFC, which isn't this season. But looking at the playoff field, the Vikings got a real chance at making it to the Super Bowl. I think they win this game. I think they get another dub to go towards getting a high seed in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm picking Vikings.
I honestly think the Vikings are probably in the best position in all of NFL, mainly because nobody's talking about them. Nobody's like they're looking past them a lot of times, because obviously you got your Bills and your Chiefs, and they're good. I'm not trying to say they're better than them, but they're in the best position right now. And this will be a decent test for them because that's one thing. They haven't been off the top of my head, just haven't been super tested. But I'm gonna go Vikings.
The Eagles. They played the Eagles.
Oh, they did. Yeah,
they lost.
The Eagles fucked them up, but dude, the Eagles, like I've been saying it for weeks, man. They're a regular season team. I don't see the Eagles having a deep run in the playoffs.
Darius Slay won that game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I do think the Vikings are set up to make some noise in the NFC because their division's shitty and they already got a commanding lead in it. So I think they're pretty much. They'd have to have a monumental collapse, which actually, if you remember,
it's possible.
It was like 20 years ago. The Vikings started off something like 7-0 when they had like Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss, and then they ended up not making the playoffs. They went on like this epic collapse.
And it's funny because it was the Cardinals that beat them in that Week 17 game. They Josh McCown threw that Hail Mary to bounce them out of the playoffs in Week 17. I remember that one.
Yeah, so it is possible, but again. They play in a pretty shitty division. Bears are going nowhere. Lions are probably the worst team in the league. And the Packers are who the fuck knows what's going on with them. So I go Vikings in this game. We have Panthers at Falcons. Fuck.
Falcons, no question. I'm not even talking about it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think
Falcons.
JBONE, he hates the Falcons, so he's going to go Panthers.
He hates the Panthers, too.
I hate both teams. Give these both teams.
I think the Falcons run them off the field, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give credit. Falcons they have really shown out this year. Last week was tough. So yeah, I'm gonna go Falcons.
Falcons. Bears at Cowboys.
The Bears aren't doing it 2 weeks in a row. Cowboys.
I still don't know how the Bears won that game. Like, you would think Bill Belichick would have cooked up some scheme that had Fields just completely shut out. That one, like I said, he didn't start zapping.
I think it was probably the quarterback play for New England that is why the Bears won. If I had to guess,
quarterback play the first quarter and a half. Yeah, it just sunk any chances of them winning.
That's
the game.
why their defense.
Cowboys win this
so
one
bad.
easy. Yeah, Micah Parsons might rip off 16 sacks this game.
Damn. Is what's his face coming back? Dak coming back?
He played last week.
Yeah, he played
Dak
this
came
time.
back this last week.
Jeez. Okay, sorry. Definitely Cowboys.
Hold
Definitely.
on. So if you're saying Dak wasn't playing, you wouldn't trust him if fucking anyone was the quarterback?
No.
Yeah, Cooper Rush was balling, dude. Cooper Rush was a totally competent quarterback for the Cowboys.
He was good. Better than Bailey Zappi.
It's true.
Bailey Zappi's balling out, dude.
Yeah. That's why he was on the bench starting the game.
Cooper Rush is better than Dak
Greatest
Ryan.
coach in the NFL thinks so much of him that he's going to sit him on the bench.
I mean, he also let Tom Brady walk out the door, while he still had a little bit of gas in the tank, too. So
Nobody could have predicted that Tom Brady would still be playing at 45, though.
Nobody.
But anyway.
Including his wife.
Yeah, exactly. She's angry about it. It ruined his life.
He doesn't have a wife.
Good for him.
Mistress.
Cowboys, definitely all the way. Bears, they shouldn't win another game all year. They probably will, but they will. God, man, this week's slate of games is fucking terrible. So if you were going to take a week off the NFL, this is the week to do it.
The bye weeks are starting to hit, man.
Yeah,
There's only 2 bye weeks this week. It's just Chargers and Chiefs.
Really?
That's the only 2 bye weeks this week.
Really?
It's just a shit slate of games then.
Oh, it's because they added the 17th week, so they're splitting them up. The 17th game, so they're splitting them up more.
Fuck, Roger Goodell, go away, please.
It's the word. I hate that 17th game.
He's ruined the fucking.
What they should do, just to break this for a second, with the 17th game, it should be flexed, and they should make it count. Like, you pair up almost like a seeding type thing for, like, if you're, I don't know, something to make it count instead of just adding an arbitrary 17. Because the whole system, a lot of people don't know, there's a system to the NFL schedule.
Yes.
You're going to know every team you play by the end of the regular season.
Yeah, like you could know your team's schedule 10 years from now, aside from a couple
from
games.
The division.
There's like 3 or 4 games that, depending on what place you get, they determine them. But yeah,
exactly. But then they throw in this arbitrary 17th game. Yeah. There's just you can play whoever. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I thought they should have made the 17th game like a cross-conference rivalry game, but there's some that don't have it. Like you could do like Jets-Giants every year, stuff like that, but I think it'd be hard because there's some teams that just don't really have like a natural rival.
Well, even make it a conference game. We played the Bucks last year. That was the 17th game. Just randomly, we played the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
NFC team doesn't mean anything. So nix it. That's talk for another day.
Isn't Week 18 this year all division games? Yeah, Week 18's all division games.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying, like the 17th game, the opponent.
The 17th game of the
we're talking about the opponent, though. Like,
opponent.
Yeah,
not necessarily.
That is the 17th game.
No, but you know how we talk. There's a system, and then all of a sudden,
I get what you're saying.
So yeah, get that out of there. But I'm gonna go.
Just because I'm a football junkie. Sorry to interrupt, man, but my thing to add some excitement to the season, I think all the teams I think all the teams that don't make the playoffs should also be in their own side tournament, and the winner gets the number 1 pick in the draft. Make them earn it, man. I hate that the worst team automatically gets the first pick.
I'm actually not opposed to that idea. You have like the worst teams in the league, but not every team that doesn't make the playoffs, just like maybe the worst 8 teams.
Yeah.
And like,
God.
So that'd be fun.
Lay it out.
I'm all about adding games that matter.
4 teams, because that's a lot of bad.
4 teams, you're probably right.
I was like, here we are with another long ball's great idea for player safety.
Oh, I side with the players, but at the end of the day, I don't care about their safety. All right, so we're going to go Raiders, Saints.
Oh, man, another
barn burner. God.
Keep the McDaniels train rolling, baby. Raiders blow them out. 40 to 10.
I don't think they blow them out, but I definitely think the Raiders are better on offense than the Saints, so I guess I'll go Raiders. And the Saints' defense, for some reason, has not looked right. I thought that was going to be the strength of their team.
I don't get it, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna support my boys. Who dat, baby? I'm gonna go Saints.
As much as I think Josh McDaniels is a shit weasel, I'm going to go with the Raiders because the Saints have no quarterback. And Derek Carr is actually disappointing me this year, but at least he's a quarterback. Yeah. Saints don't have anything.
Yeah, I was about to say about the Derek Carr being disappointing. I watched a little bit of the Raiders game on Sunday. I got to say, dude, it is a shame that Devontae Adams is going to spend basically the rest of the prime of his career with Carr, because just watching that dude play, like, he is far and away the best wide receiver in the league. I was watching some of the routes he was running, the catches he was making. That dude is incredible, man. And I wish we could see him with like a real top line quarterback the next couple of years, because it was so much fun watching the plays he was making. But, you know, he's
still putting up solid numbers, even with Carr. The touchdowns, not as much, but yardage, and he had like 95 yards and shit.
Yeah, he's great at tackling cameramen.
He's still doing his thing, but I just think what could be if, you know, he was with a real, like I said, you know, one of the real prime QBs.
All right, we got. All right, you guys ready for this one? Maybe I should save it for last. I guess we'll just go ahead and go. Dolphins at the Lions.
Oh my god, dude! Dolphins might murder the Lions.
This is my Becky Lynch glasses right here.
I don't get the reference.
Yeah, Dolphins win. I predict an ugly game, though. I don't think it's going to be a murder. I think it's just going to be a shit game, but I think the Dolphins get the W.
Yeah, Dolphins. God, what's there to say? Jeez.
I'm going to go with the Lions because as weird as this season is, all the parity, teams that are supposed to be good aren't good, teams that aren't supposed to be good are good. The one thing that grounds this NFL season in reality for me is that the Lions are 1-6.
Stay off the damn weed.
I don't know what that has to do with that, but yes, the Lions are the worst fucking team in the league again, like usual. Love it, because one of my good acquaintances from LA is a Lions fan. I don't know much about football. All right. Miami. All right. Now we got fucking Bailey Zappi versus the New York Jets.
Oh, my God. I mean, is Bill Belichick going to coach this week? Like, I guess if Belichick coaches, I'll go with the Patriots, but otherwise, let's keep the Jets train rolling. No, I'm picking the Patriots. The Jets are not going to win.
If Mac Jones starts, the Jets win. If Bailey Zappi starts, the Patriots win. Simple as that.
I'm going to go Jets, Jets, maybe.
No. I got to go. There's no way Belichick's going to lose to the Jets with Zach Wilson as the quarterback.
He's not losing to Justin Fields and Zach Wilson back-to-back weeks. It's not happening.
Zach Wilson's going to sleep with Belichick's mom, and it's going to be donezo.
If she's hot, go for it.
Mom is dead, but either way.
Zach Wilson's going to be in the brothels with Robert Kraft up in New England pregame. We're going to go.
Zach Wilson and Deshaun Watson.
What's that?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said Robert Kraft, Zach Wilson, and Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I thought you said you'd rather have Zach Wilson than Deshaun Watson. I was like, you're off. You're done. Kick him out of here.
Dude, Deshaun Watson's a degenerate, dude. I
don't care.
You could have a degenerate at any other position except quarterback, man. Not at quarterback.
You wouldn't want Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback for your favorite NFL team.
No, dude. This dude has like 26 sexual assault cases against him. How could you put your trust in
Let me ask you this. Does his sexual assault cases, does that stop him from throwing touchdown passes during the game?
How many touchdown passes
stopped him from playing?
If he's in the game, though.
From playing football the last 2 years, dude. He hasn't been able to play in 2 years. And like I said, Hawk, I'm with you, dude. I think like character and morals and all that shit is way overvalued in pro sports, except for at the quarterback position, man. Yeah, but except for at quarterback, dude. I feel like as a starting quarterback, you got to have a dude that's rock solid, and this guy is clearly not that. When has it ever worked out, man? When has it ever worked out with a shaky-ass character at quarterback for a winning team, dude? Look at Mike Vick, man. I would say Mike Vick's probably the most talented player ever to come in the NFL, and he couldn't get it done, dude, because he had shit going on off the field. I think quarterback is the one position where that shit matters. In general, I don't fucking care, man. I'd rather have a team of fucking rule breakers and fucking rebels and shit than, you know, a bunch of milk drinking church boys, except at quarterback, man. Quarterback, you need a fucking Eagle Scout.
You like that? You like that?
I disagree. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. Obviously, if, you know, pay your debt to society. If it's a criminal investigation, go to jail. If you're found guilty, if it's a civil trial and you're found guilty, pay what you owe and then get on the field and do your job. Don't give a fuck beyond that. So we'll go next. We got the Steelers at the Eagles.
Oh, Eagles in a blowout.
Yeah, same.
Does anyone object to that? I think
nah.
Steelers are in
Steelers
competition
are
with the
not
Lions
great.
for the worst. I love seeing the Steelers terrible. I really do. It makes me happy.
Yeah, they've been so spoiled, man. They've been so good for so long. Like, they always have like a baseline of competency. I love seeing the Steelers just fucking bottom out.
I'm with you. And the thing I like about them bottoming out is they're going to finish with a worse record than the Colts, and they already have their quarterback. So that's one team we're not battling in the offseason for drafting a first-round QB. So I'm rooting for them to lose a lot of games. We got the Titans at the Texans. Clash of the AFC South.
Titans.
Dude, this is a horrible fucking
Titans should win. They do have a way of playing up or down to the level of their competition. But Texans suck, man. So, yeah, I say Titans get the W.
It pains me.
Yeah,
Titans. I want them to lose every game, and they're not. If you look at their roster, they should not win. They should not be 4-2. I don't know how it's. I mean, 2 of their wins are against us, so I guess that's why they're there. But they don't feel like a 4-2 team to me.
They already played twice.
You know what that is?
swept us.
Look at the point differential. The Titans have been outscored by their opponents so far this season.
The point difference.
Play to win the game.
Yeah,
The Titans have been outscored. Despite being 4-2, they have been outscored so far this season. That's why they don't feel like a 4-2 team. You just made my point for me.
I guess you're going to be our point differential guy. Now we're counting on you for this, Seth. So now every single week you have to have this in front of you.
I'll bring it.
All right. That's your homework assignment every week now. Giants at Seahawks, which is shockingly probably the game of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually, geez.
I'll go Giants just because I think Dabble is a really, really good head coach.
Yeah.
Like he is getting the most out of that roster, and I just feel like they're going to keep going. And the Seahawks are nowhere near as good as their record.
Yeah, this is definitely the Cinderella game because both of these teams are they're waiting to turn into pumpkins at midnight. I don't know which one happens first. I think the Giants keep it going one more week, though, and they beat the Seahawks.
Cinderella, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the G-men.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because it's in Seattle and the stadium's loud, and I think both teams are pretenders. So I'm gonna go with the home team, and not high on Geno Smith at all. You're not a backup in the league for that long. Become a starter and are good, like sustainably this good. So
he's got a glass jaw, too.
But he's gonna beat the Giants. So I'll go Seattle since it's in Seattle. If it was in New York, I probably would have went the Giants.
Switching up the beers, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah, going with the Coors Banquet beer.
Got the cooler filled before the show.
Classic.
All right. Okay, this is a decent. Well, it should have been a decent game, but as the season progresses, maybe not. The Niners at the Rams. Your guys' fucking favorite team.
I'll go Niners.
Yep, big brother Shanahan beats down little brother McVay, man. Niners win again.
Fuck it, I'm going Rams.
I'm with you, JBONE. It's in LA. I'm not high on the Niners. I'm going Rams. They can't be this bad.
Hey, I have the Niners going to the Super Bowl too, so there you go.
Oh man, we got the Washington football team at the Indianapolis Colts.
Hey, did you see the Dan Snyder's wife referred to him as the Redskins?
She's canceled.
The Commanders.
Oh, they're trying to. Don't worry.
This is too. I don't even know what to say about both these teams. Are average at best, I guess. The Colts are not losing to the Commanders. I don't feel like it's going to happen. The Colts play enough defense to keep them in it. I think they're going to hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor like 25 to 30 times this week.
I think the big question is Carson Wentz is still.
He's not playing.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, never mind.
If he was playing, it would be a Colts 100%.
Never mind. God, man. Yeah, I really wish he was playing because I would like to see his reaction when he beats the Colts.
If Wentz would have came in and beat us, dude, I'd revolt. I might just throw on a fucking Bills jersey this year and be like, my new team's the Bills.
Yeah, I'll go with Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts because our defense has actually been playing shockingly well this year. Lost in all of how bad our offense has been. Our defense has actually been shockingly okay, and we don't even have our best Leonard's played not even a complete half of football for us this year, so he should be back, and we should win that game. So I'll say the Colts. All right, another game that should have been good but might not be as good as we thought is Green Bay at Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. Prime time, baby.
Aaron Rodgers is like the CM Punk of the league. I'm old and I'm tired and I'm playing with children. That's what he is.
Except Aaron Rodgers was once good, where I think CM Punk has always sucked.
Oh yes, dude. Thank you.
I think the Bills win this game, but I do think it's closer than the spread. I think the Packers will do enough to stay in this. It's 12. I think the Packers will do enough to stay in this game, but I still think the Bills win.
Wait, they get Bills. It's 12 points with Aaron Rodgers. I would ride the Packers on that one. Rodgers ain't going to lose by fucking 12
Buffalo
points.
or in Green Bay?
Oh,
it's in Buffalo.
In Buffalo. This is their first Sunday night game in a long time.
Yeah, I think Bills win, but Packers cover the spread.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, Bills. Let's go Williams.
I agree the Bills are going to win. I also agree the Packers are going to cover the spread. I would never put that much of a spread with Rodgers. When you have a QB like that, they're not going to lose. Maybe I'll eat my words and they'll lose, but I just don't think they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Rodgers is good, and I think LaFleur's a pretty good coach too, man. Like I just don't see them getting blown out.
The Buccaneers had a 13-point spread. They ended up losing the game last week, so that tells you something there.
All right, and then we got Monday night on Halloween. Spooky. The Bengals at the Browns.
I'm going Bengals. Their offense is getting it going finally. I just feel like they're going to roll the Browns. Browns are not good. This is not a good football team.
Yeah, I think the Browns they have 2 wins right now, and I think they're still going to be sitting on 2 wins when Deshaun Watson finally makes his disgraceful return to the league. So I'm going Bengals all the way.
I'm going to say the Bengals, and I would say if the Browns are already out of playoff contention or they'd have to win out, I wouldn't be shocked to see Deshaun Watson not play this season because I don't see the point in bringing him in a lost season just to risk some sort of injury that would delay him starting week 1 the next year.
Then you're going a full 2 years without him playing an NFL game. That's a long time.
And I know you lost most of your draft picks to get him, but record even counts for your second round, third round draft picks. So you may as well lose the games you're supposed to lose with Brissett instead of winning more and hurting your draft position in the rounds you do have picks.
I don't know what how the fan base would take that. I definitely see that from a logical standpoint, but I feel like the public pressure is going to be on you to put this guy on the field, man. I don't know. It's definitely the smart move. I don't know if they could stomach the backlash from the fans though.
He comes back week 11, right? Is that when he's allowed back? So he'll get,
actually,
6 games?
The Texans. Yeah, it's damn near poetic. His first game back is going to be against the Houston Texans.
If the Browns can go 4-2 and make the playoffs, if they're in that position, I think he plays. If they have to go 5-1 or 6-0, I don't think he plays.
I think they're game behind the Bengals or
no, they're 2 behind the Bengals now.
They're 2.
Let me read you off.
Is, man, the offense has been decent to slightly above decent. It's the defense which has really sucked for the Browns, man. And Jacoby Brissett's had the last 2 weeks have been bad, but I don't know how much of an upgrade it's really going to be adding Deshaun Watson as far as the way the team's playing right now.
You don't see an upgrade from Deshaun Watson from Jacoby Brissett?
No, I do. Yeah, he's definitely better, but I'm saying the offense has still been pretty solid. The defense is where they're sucking, though. That's where they're needing help at right now because they're getting gouged on defense. So I don't know how much Deshaun Watson's really going to help once he comes back.
I'm 100% with Seth. I do not think they win a game before Watson comes back. Their next 4 games are Cincinnati, a bye, then at Miami, at Buffalo, and Tampa Bay. That's bad.
Yeah, and if they don't win another game when it's time for him, I don't think they're playing.
They'd be 2-9 when Watson comes on the field if they lose the next 4 games.
The only reason I could see him playing him is just to spite the Texans to give him a worse draft pick. I guess maybe. Other than that, I mean, if I'm a Browns fan, I'm sit him unless we can go 4-2 and make the playoffs. Then I would play him. Other than that,
ain't
nothing.
happening.
So I guess the big question though now is, what's your fantasy?
What's my fantasy?
What's your fantasy, JBONE? You see, you got to be ready with these drops, man. You got to.
No, because he sucks you guys in.
I want to kiss you.
So he sucks you guys right in. So consider yourself sucked.
Consider yourself sucked, pal.
All right, let's go around the horn, Jordan. How was your fantasy this week, bud?
2-3 this week. I am floundering in those 3 leagues that I've lost. The other 2 leagues I'm doing really well, but man, it's a crapshoot this year.
My team's rolling, dude. I made a controversial trade a couple weeks back. I traded Breece Hall and Jalen Waddle for Cooper Kupp. Everybody was giving me shit, like, why would you get rid of Breece Hall? How does he playing right now? Hey, I had a feeling that ACL was going to give out, baby. And now I got the baddest white boy in the league for the rest of the season. So, I'm riding high. I'm looking good for the rest of the year.
I'm one league I'm doing horrible in, which is actually I won the league last year, so will not be repeat as champion. But in our league, me and Hawks league, I'm actually surprisingly I'm kind of surprised I got the win this week because I had a lot of people I had to sit. I had Jalen Hurts, Cooper Kupp, Singletary, like a lot of like players I just had to sit. And Tyler Boyd came in for me. Who else? George Kittle actually did good for me this week. So, I squeaked out a win thanks to the wonderful defense of the Patriots. Thank God. So I'm looking good. I'm number 4 in there. And then in the Chick-fil-A show league, I'm starting to climb the ranks in that. Beat my damn team. So who was second in the league. So actually beat him pretty handily as well too. So made a little trade too today. Traded Juju Smith-Schuster, and that was in that league for Tony Pollard because I had Breece Hall, so I needed some help in the running back position.
Well, both of my fantasy teams are a disaster this year, and I don't know if you guys do auction leagues, but for the last 5 or 6 years, auction leagues have all kind of went the same way. And then this year, there was just this flurry of spending at the beginning of the auction that I just wasn't prepared for. And I didn't know what to do because I went away from it made me go away from all my draft strategies. And it shows because I told myself, whatever it costs to get Josh Allen, just do it. Just go for it. Quarterbacks in our league didn't go for over 30 for the last 5 years. Josh Allen went for $55. I didn't know what to do. Do I keep going? And so, but anyway, it's completely fucked me. My team sucks, and I could get last. It'll be the first time ever I don't make the playoffs in that league, and it's a bummer. So, fuck it.
It will be the first time ever. Hey, if you want to make some deals, pal, if you're ready to fire sale, let me know.
I'll look at your team. Maybe we can pull the trigger on something. I don't have a whole lot of trade bait. I know people want Devontae Adams from me, which I guess at this point I should probably trade him for 2 players that are gonna put up.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. One of my fantasy rules I've lived by for 20+ years. You never trade $1 for 4 quarters, man. I always try to end up with the best player in any trade I'm on.
But the issue, man, is last week, I finished. This week I was terrible, but the week before that, I finished top 3 in scoring. So my team has the capabilities. Twice this year, I've finished top 3 in scoring, and both of those games I lost.
So that's not kidding about always trying to come up on top of a trade. Trying to trade me Deion Jackson for Mike Evans when Jonathan Taylor's coming back. What a fucking idiot!
Oh, I had some.
I'm keeping Deion Jackson on my roster though, because once running backs get injured in a season, they can be pretty sporadic though. They might be out of game, and then Deion
Colts should be running the ball a lot the rest of the year too.
I started Deion Jackson the week that Taylor was out, and he fucking balled. He got me 20-some points. So I'd keep him on your roster if you have him.
I had a guy this week in our league. What was it? He offered Cooper Kupp. Well, I offered Cooper Kupp for Nick Chubb. Straight up, okay? Because I needed some running back help. And he declined that. And so instead, he wanted me to trade Dalvin Cook for Cooper Kupp. I'm like, No, man. Like, that's not happening. Like, absolutely not.
Wait, you're trading Dalvin Cook to get Cooper Kupp?
No.
Oh, I was like,
no.
Why did you not take this?
Why he wanted me to trade Cooper Kupp for Dalvin Cook?
Oh, okay. I was like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
yeah. No. So I was like, no, it's not happening. And then try to piece together some other stuff. He wanted Cooper Kupp. I was like, I'm only trading Cooper for Nick Chubb, and that's it.
First off, I don't even know how Cook or Chubb are doing. Are they both good. Are they both solid RB1s?
Nick Chubb is the leading rusher and has the most rushing touchdowns in the league so far this season.
Okay.
Nick Chubb's playing really well. Dalvin
and who are you going to have to give up to get Chubb, JBONE?
Cooper Kupp.
How's your receiving core look if you get rid of Kupp?
Good. It was good. I mean, it was solid, you know. I've got Smith-Schuster, who's been coming on. Jerry Jeudy. I'm trying to think who else. Let me pull it up here real quick. I can't find it. Oh yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Bets, Jordan. Let's hear some wins and some losses. How'd you do?
All right, well, let's get into this and fucking peel this Band-Aid off.
All right.
Brutal.
I think I know what you're already talking about.
I did bet what I said on here that I would bet. I did bet the Raiders in the over. I bet the Bengals Falcons over. That was my single bets this weekend, and I bet Joe Burrow over on 282 passing yards. That's my wins. I did a 4-team parlay. I had the Jets. Oh, God, who was it? Jets. Hold on, I got to go back to it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I didn't bet this week while you're doing that, because I have $50 left in my account, but I can't multitask. If I got like a weekend trip planned, I completely forget about everything else. Okay. So I didn't place them.
So I had Bengals, Falcons over, 47, which hit. Jets -1 hit. Raiders -7 hit. Packers -4, killed the 4-teamer. Then on my 6-teamer, I had Falcons, Bengals over. I had Raiders money line, Chiefs, 49ers over, Texans, Raiders over, Jets win, and Packers money line. So the Packers fucked me twice this week. Just absolutely brutal.
I told you, bro. Dude, no 3 ways with blood relatives. Don't fuck with the devil. And never put Aaron Rodgers as the 5th leg on a 5-team parlay.
I think I disagree with all of those, but... Okay. Whatever.
So
different strokes for different folks.
This week, I don't ever bet my team, but I do like the Falcons are given 4.5 this week. I do think they will cover that. I think Broncos Jaguars under is just absolutely giving you money. I don't know how you don't bet under 39.
What is it?
It's under 39.
I'd go. The Broncos don't score TDs.
And then I love the over in the Cardinals-Vikings game this week. So if you've been betting with me the first 2 weeks I've been on the show, you're winning money right now. So
well, you're not winning money with me.
You're not winning money with me. Never take my betting advice.
I did.
You guys were all like, the Raiders over is one of the dumbest bets ever. The Raiders almost hit it by themselves.
That's what fucked me this week.
What, you took the Raiders under?
I did.
Oh.
In a five leg parlay, and that's what I messed up. Yeah. Whatever.
All right, fellas. Any final thoughts on this week in the NFL?
So, Hawk, you never gave us, Jordan gave us he shit all over Cincinnati. You never gave us the game day experience in Nashville, man. How was it? Like, did you pregame down on Broadway, or what'd you do prior to the Titans Colts on Sunday?
No, I didn't. I got low, and I never sit lower level because I just like being higher. But when I went to get tickets, they were the same fucking price. And I've been to that stadium so much that it's just another football game to me. The stadium isn't anything special because they want to build a new one, but it's not terrible either, so I don't get it. I had a friend there that I tailgated with a little bit after the game while we were waiting for traffic to dissipate a bit, but other than that, normal bullshit.
You didn't go to Tootsie's?
I didn't do anything. I stayed at a KOA campground outside of Nashville, sat around the campfire on Friday.
Fucking hippies.
Broadway Brewhouse, dude. The tourists go to Tootsie's, dude. Freaking Broadway Brewhouse is the spot for pregame on Titan Sundays, man.
I was so drunk
like
last
the
time I went to
cities.
Nashville, totally forgot where I went. So
Tootsie's is
from
cool, dude.
cities.
Tootsie's is a good ass time, but it gets packed, man. You're gonna be waiting in line there on game day.
What you have to know about me is when I go to a city, my whole goal is to get out of it as fast as humanly possible. I want to show up at the last second, and I want to leave as soon as I can because I just don't like being in cities. So
I feel you.
It's not my scene. All right, fellas. Well, it's been real. We talked about a lot. We went long this week, but it's because we all had a lot to talk about with Matt Ryan since he was your guys' franchise QB for so long, and then mine this year for a brief 6-7 games. So
I think he's coming back, man.
let's get some plugs real quick. Seth, Jordan, is Pod Wars coming back?
Pod Wars is coming back, dude. We just been busy. I mean, dude. So but we've started doing this. This is an entire night of podcasting every Tuesday night, and then we still got the regular show. Yeah,
Just so we're clear, when Seth says we're busy, he means he's busy. I'm ready every week.
He's a sailor. Cut him some slack.
Seth just always has some reason why he can't. Like he's got to fucking have a helicopter come lift up the chicken coop, or I don't fucking know what he does every week.
It's busy, dude. I have 2 kids, a wife, 3 goats, and 16 chickens that I got to tend to, man. So it's a lot. But yeah, Pod Warriors is coming back at some time. In the meantime, make sure you guys check out my gorgeous wife, Sheena, at Chick Foley. chickfoley.com. You can find the podcast, links to the social media, the shop, everything. So yeah, just hit up chickfoley.com for and that'll be my plug for the week.
Hawk, what y'all talk about over there on Broken VCR?
On Broken VCR, we did John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh, nice.
1980.
Fucking A.
What do you got there? What is that?
I got my Turnbuckle Tavern. This is my official beer drinking cup, dude.
That's the podcast you work for.
Oh, yeah. No, they work for me. I am the tavern.
This week, actually, I've got one and only Chick Foley actually coming on this year. Sheena's coming on. We're since I'm a carbon black miner in South Louisiana, we're doing coal miner on a glove match from Halloween
Hell yeah.
1992. We're recording that tomorrow night. So, but it'll drop Friday morning. Check out comingdowntheaislepod.com. So, anything else we need to add? Oh, Pod Foundation. Make sure everybody join the Pod Foundation. Oh wait, and make sure you're following, of course, Turnbuckle Tavern, Chick Foley, and Extra Cooler. Extra Cooler. We shout them out real quick too. I know this is a football podcast, but if you like wrestling as well too, the trilogy of terror that they put on,
fantastic,
beautiful,
awesome
beautiful
stuff.
work. So, oops, hit the wrong button.
So dumb.
It happens.
It's
so dumb. Here we go. This is the right button.
There you go.
Tavern.com.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Scott. Make sure you are subscribing to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We're almost at 1,000. Please do your part. We got like 13 more people. Share with those 13 more people who are watching this for the first time. And head over to our Discord as well, too, ProWrestlingTees.com. Got some fun stuff going on over there. And, of course, make sure you're checking out everything else the Tavern's got. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, everything under the sun when it comes to that. So, anything else? Have anything else, Stan?
That's it.
All right. Till next week. Peace.